Hi, my name is Dr. Charlotte Charfen, and I'm a healer. That took me a while to recognize that. You see, I'm a board-certified emergency physician. I trained at one of the toughest, roughest inner-city hospitals in Detroit, Michigan. I've practiced emergency medicine for over 15 years. But it wasn't until I opened my mind and I opened my heart to the patients that I was treating and the lessons that they actually had for me that helped heal me and then helped me recognize what a true healer is. And I'd like to share one of those lessons with you. It's from a very small, sweet, special patient that I took care of not long ago. And during that time, I have to tell you, I was very burned out. I had recognized after doing a lot of work on myself and a lot of healing that I was traumatized, as many emergency care workers are. You know, the daily anguish and pain of our patients coupled with the hypocrisy and negativity that has unfortunately become part of modern American medicine left me traumatized, and I didn't know what to do. My first instinct was to actually quit, but I recognized that probably wasn't the smartest thing given my responsibilities. So instead I took some time off for myself, just to be Charlotte, to read, to write, to do the things that I enjoy doing. And so it was when I was transitioning back into my job as an ER doctor that I met this patient and learned this lesson. And my gut had told me to pick up a traveling job in Tumbleweed, Texas, of all places. And I'm glad I listened, because once I got there, the patients, the staff, the hospital, the administrators, I felt like I'd stepped into another world. They actually gave me a rejuvenation in medicine. And so I actually felt like I was part of their family within 3 days of working there. And I was skipping into work one morning when I happened to look down at the ground, and I recognized that there was a rock in the shape of a heart, the color pink, right there before me. And I paused and I thought, I wonder what today will bring. Because I used to carry my own heart rock in my pocket when I would work in the ERs. It was made of rose quartz. And anytime a patient would come in dying, I would rub that rock. And even the nurses started to recognize people were living longer, some people that actually probably didn't need to. And so I stopped carrying that rock. But that was in the back of my head as I entered the emergency department, and I was greeted by all the nurses, and I got hugs, and we were laughing because there were no psychotic patients waiting on me, which had become my trend since I had started working there. And as we were laughing, the EMS radio came on and dead silence occurred, as if we all knew together something serious was about to enter our emergency department. And over the radio, we all heard his frantic voice, the paramedic, who said, "We're bringing in a 7-month-old female in cardiac arrest. CPR is in progress. We'll be there in 5 minutes." This is an emergency physician's worst nightmare. And so we all gathered together as a team and got our everything assembled. And even the physician I was working with, he came in and offered to take my spot. He had no children, and he was trying, I do believe, to spare me the pain of seeing a child be lost. But my pounding little heart knew this patient was for me. And so I said, no, thank you. And watched as they brought in her lifeless body. And the ER doctor and me took over, and I put in the tubes and I put in the lines and I pumped her body full of numerous drugs in order to try to bring her little body back to life. And that wasn't working. And so I reached for my ultrasound machine to look at her heart, and I could see it wasn't moving. There was no flicker. It was as still as that heart rock sitting outside. And my reaction was to run outside. I wanted to run out there and grab that rock, rub it until my hands bled, if I could just bring that child back to life. If I could spare her parents the pain of the loss of a child. If I could spare the people I was working with or myself the pain or another scar, another trauma, another loss. And as I had those thoughts, I looked down at her little wrist, at her name badge that had been put around it, and I saw her name, and her name was Liberty. And it was as if her soul was all around that room and had just spoken to me, and I knew what I needed to do. And so I looked at the clock, and I had everyone stop, and I called her time of death. I thanked everyone in that room for all the help that they had given to this small child. And then I went and told her parents, and I watched their anguish, and I felt their unimaginable pain. And then I took a moment for myself and I walked outside and I took a deep breath of that Texan air and I saw that rock and all I felt was gratitude. Pure gratitude for life and for death, for the beauty and for the pain. That little girl named Liberty, she liberated me. She emancipated me from another scar. She allowed me to sit with the pain, to feel it, to acknowledge it, and then to move through it. She allowed me to be a better doctor. She allowed me to love life regardless of what came my way. And so whenever you're facing loss or pain down this path of life that we all follow, I hope you'll remember Liberty, and she'll help you too. Thank you.